Hello, friends. Welcome to Marriage, Madness, and Magic. This is the podcast where we chat about marriage, the good, the bad, the crazy. Madness, maybe we'll spill a little tea. Magic, raising kids and the pure joy and antics of grandkids. I'm your redheaded host, Tabitha Jean D'Agata, and this is my co-host, my Italian husband, Joe.
Yo, Adrienne, we did it!
Welcome to another episode of Marriage, Madness, and Magic. This is episode number 5.
Yes.
We are so excited.
Yes, we are.
We have a special guest.
Yes, we do.
A special guest. How would we describe this guest? First, maybe a round of applause. Bravo.
Bravo.
Bravo. And someone who has weathered the storm.
Yes.
We have Earl The Pearl Thompson coming on.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm thrilled to have him because I have some questions for him. Now, I know people, they're looking for the tea. But what I want to know about Earl. I love watching Earl on the show. I want to know more about him, right? You too.
Yeah.
I introduced you to Earl. I showed you him on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty excited. He has some mad dance skills. I would like to welcome to the show Earl The Pearl. Welcome, Earl. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, welcome to our show. We're excited to have you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, what I wanted to start with is I'm thinking of people setting out to find love.
Yes.
And we're all deserving of love. Everybody should have their love story.
Yes.
Everybody needs their happy ending.
Yes.
When I think back to love, I think of Sandy and Danny from Grease. Grease lightning.
Right.
I think of Baby and Johnny, Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Samantha and Jake, 16 Candles. And then Rocky. This is my co-host favorite love story.
You absolutely. How you doing?
Rocky.
How you doing?
That's his favorite. But it has evolved from the dating game in 1965 to Rock of Love. Does anybody remember Rock of Love?
I remember that.
Rock of Love in 2007. And then we have The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, Love Island, and then Earl The Pearl on Love Hotel. Love Hotel.
Yes.
So I want to know from you, doing Love Hotel, what inspired you to try something like that? Did you believe that there was a possibility you could find your happy ending there? And you don't have to tell me about who you were with, but what were your expectations?
What were you expecting? Yes, like going in.
All right. So I already had planned on taking acting classes. And then a buddy from high school, I told him I was about taking a trip to Europe. So he and I planned a whole trip to Europe. And so I said, okay, I'm going to put the acting classes on hold. It was 5 minutes down from my house. And then a friend out of nowhere who's been on my boat, is now married, sends me a message on Messenger saying, hey, I have a casting director friend who is casting for this new dating show. The women are successful. They don't need a man. They want a man. They're looking for love.
Oh, great.
I think you would be a perfect fit for this. And I said, oh, really? No, thank you. And, you know, we both laughed about it. And I said, no, it's not anything I want to do. Thanks. Appreciate it. And so she really hounded me every day, sometimes multiple times a day for about a week. And then finally said, okay, I'll go on the site, complete the application, throw up a few pictures and see what happens. And then I got a call from the casting director. So that's what happened. And I got a call on a actual text message on a Thursday and said, congratulations, you're going to be on the show. I believe I was the last person selected.
Oh, they say the best for last.
Yes.
No, I like the way you think.
That's right. Personally, I don't know if I could ever do it. I think I would be so nervous for one of the expectations going in, competing for someone else's attention. Were you worried about that part of it, where you were going to have other men competing for the same person you might be interested in?
Yeah. I was pretty naive, I got to admit. But I forgot to mention, I still didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Literally, all my friends, I said, I'm not doing it. If this was fun, I passed all the tests, I'm not doing it. And they all got together individually and kept calling me and saying it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
One friend was in a bar.
Yeah.
He said, my friends got invited to be, on this dating show. Should he do it? And all the bar patrons are going, do it. It was so funny. And then finally, I just woke up the next day and I said, I'm going to do it. And I was naive because I had no expectations whatsoever. I just figured I'm going to go there and see what happens. I don't know anything about this show.
Right.
I know it's in Cabo, so how bad can that be? Right?
Yeah.
I'm going for the vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally, I didn't know if I'd be there 10 seconds or longer, I really had no idea. So I went in kind of blind, but it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Yes, because you have weathered the storm. You really, you have held your own. And I want to know more about you. We did see your dancing skills. John Travolta, Eat Your Heart Out. I thought it was so fun. Do you love to go dancing? What do you like to do when you're not on the show?
So I like boating. I love dancing. Even when I was trying out for the team in college, I took tap dancing lessons to try to increase my footwork. And I was the only guy in the class, right? So I'm doing shuffle ball change with all these women, and it was pretty cool. And I always had really quick feet, dance on my toes, kind of, like Walter Payton, how he'd run, and I would watch people dance and I'd realize they're all sports moves. There's a lot of sports moves. Like if you dribble between your legs, that's a dance move. If you jog really slowly, it's a dance move. Okay.
Yes.
And so I kind of correlated it with all the sports I played, and I was really very coordinated, hand-eye, everything. And so I picked it up pretty quickly. So then I took ballroom dance lessons and put on a recital for my family and friends, and doing the rumba, the bachata, and salsa and tango, and I've always kind of kept that up. So yeah, I've been dancing my whole life, and I just love it.
So funny, because when I was watching the episode where you were dancing, you were having the time of your life. That was like one of my favorite parts. I was like, go Earl, get it.
I love dancing, and I love twirling and dipping, and I really enjoy it.
Yes.
And it's great exercise, right?
Really? So. Yes. And I wanted to ask you too, while you were there, what about food? How was the food? I mean, I'm a woman in menopause. I'm all about the food.
Well, the food was fantastic. I guess they had one of these 2-star restaurants there. I never got to go in it, but other guys did, and it's supposed to be fantastic. But it was like go, go, go. So my favorite thing, which I just love there, and once I started ordering them, they just kept bringing them to me. It's the green juices, right?
Ooh.
And I know people think I don't like vegetables, but there's just certain ones that make me retch, But I love the green juices, and so I'd have like 6 a day. Oh, wow. I really miss them, by the way. So that was one of my favorite things. And
I love that.
Yeah, it was so good. It's a great way to wake up, start working out.
What was something, if you could share a funny moment without giving anything away, maybe something that happened prior? I know there's episodes that still need to air. So, is there anything funny that happened to you there, or something you could share that would make people laugh?
Oh, there are so many things that are funny. Okay. I can't discuss some of them, but that video you might have seen online of us just breaking out in a Soul Train dance.
Yes.
It was so spontaneous. They were nice enough to give us a night off, no cameras.
Yay.
It was Nick's birthday. So we had food, open bar, and we thought it'd just be us and maybe a few producers or whatever. And the next thing you know, everybody starts coming in who are on the crew and camera, lighting, accountants. Everyone's coming in. And, that's the really first real interaction we had with them. I talked to them every day saying, hi, how are you and stuff. And the best thing with that is when they came in, they're like, Earl The Pearl, I love you, man. And they all knew my name. And I was like, that's so weird, So, but it was also very endearing, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that was a weird moment, the dancing, where it was so unorganized and it came together so spontaneous, and Ralph going to the camera, I mean, all the dance moves. It was so fun,
It was fun because I was sitting there going, get it, Earl, get it. I have another question for you.
Sure.
Were you ever worried? I know with shows, they edit. Were you ever worried about projecting false narratives about you after people watch it? Were you worried about how they might perceive you or see you in a way that's not you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. There were a few things that have come up with the show, and I interact with a lot of the fans on different things because I like bringing everyone with me so they can share in the experience, right?
Yes. And
some people would misconstrue that like I'm, trying to get famous or something. That's
right.
Part of my life, okay? I am not that guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What you see is what you get. It's just wake up like everybody else, work hard, and go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
So I think some of the things people don't realize about me is maybe since I'm from Georgia, maybe
he's from Georgia.
I'm a more of a simple man, but I do have half hillbilly blood in me from my dad's side, and they abuse themselves completely, with cooking in Crisco and lard and everything's fried, all that stuff. They all lived into their 80s, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of banking on that part of my genealogy, right?
Yeah.
To live because I love pizza, Italian sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago food,
You're speaking to a Guido over here.
Yeah.
Right. So, so I found that kind of interesting how people were perceiving me as maybe, not a smart guy, but I have a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling.
Yes, I did see that. I did some research on you.
Yeah,
you're
and I've been doing
snazzy man.
I've had my own company for 27 years, and I testify in front of juries and in front of judges. Within the first year of opening my business, my testimony went to the Supreme Court of Georgia and changed the workers' comp law. Okay.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, and I have to deal with, medical terminology like spondylosis, spondylesthesis, all these different kind of really complex medical issues.
Yes, and I know about them, and so does my co-host, because we work for a rehabilitation company where we work for a DME company.
So you understand all
we
this,
do.
Right?
This is what I do during my off podcast time.
Yes.
So I guess when I heard that, I don't need to brag about all that. I just like to get to know everybody. Nobody on the show knew, I think eventually someone knew about my boat, but I didn't need to talk about that. I'm not a bragger,
No. But you know what? I've had a few conversations with you, and you are quite the catch, Mr. Earl The Pearl. Just so you know.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you to say, but I mean, literally, I know I have a good life. I know I'm blessed. I have lots of friends.
Yeah.
I can talk on almost every subject, but a lot of times what you saw on the show is I'm a fantastic listener. Okay. So it's like I was born to be a counselor.
When you seem empathetic.
Somebody, empathetic. I had these thought bubbles kind of pop up when someone's saying something to me, I'm like, that's not it. That's not it. This is what it is,
Yes.
you know? And so when you see me looking at Shannon and I'm just staring at her intently, it's because I'm really in an acting listening phase. And so I'm not seeing all the other stuff. And I love getting to know people that way.
Yes.
And so I might not be the guy saying, you know, I went to Zimbabwe, I went to here. Because I don't think any of that's important. You know, yeah, I've gone to a lot of fun places, but what makes you you? And tell me about that.
Right.
What brings you joy? I want to know that, you know?
And I saw that in you from the very first episode. That's why I was glad that we could do this podcast together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was worried about people seeing you in a different light, a different narrative. I think you're so sweet. And I saw that in you when you were talking to Shannon, that you were concerned, you wanted to hear more about her. You're someone who is very capable, just from watching, I could get this wrong, who's able to just sit and wait your turn to speak.
Right.
Am I wrong? I saw that about you.
You get so much more when you just be quiet and still.
You listen,
okay?
and you hear everything that goes on. Yes.
Absolutely. So where a lot of people want to change the narrative back on themselves. You notice that, right? So, because it's uncomfortable talking about uncomfortable things, right? Mm-hmm. So they go, oh yeah, I've done that too. Or I had a cousin who did that. I had this, you know, and that's not helpful for someone who's kind of sharing something that's really tough to share, right?
Right.
So just be still, hold their hand, look in their eyes, just let it come out. And it's amazing the connection you can have with someone that way. And I hope from the show, you know, people will be inspired to, you know, do things at 60. I mean, I'm 60 when all this started, but also how to communicate even on tough subjects, or if you're coming off an argument, this is how you communicate. You know, just say, hey, here's my part in it. You know, I'm sorry for that. Okay. Let me explain where I think that might have come from, which I didn't expect to come at all.
Right.
And you can move through things. And I hope not only to inspire people with getting out there and doing new things and having a blast. I mean, I'm taking acting classes at 60, right?
Right. You have inspired me.
Yeah.
You know, but also how to communicate well. And it's okay if one person is not communicating perfectly, they can actually learn from you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And go, okay, my way didn't work before. It might be time to change it and actually have a happy life.
Yes.
Right. So I hope couples are talking. I hope people are looking at themselves instead of being judgy with other people.
I love that.
Right.
You
that
really
is the
learn.
Best advice you could give someone.
Yeah.
And
I
love that. And I'm rooting for you. I've had conversations with you on the phone and I've just enjoyed you. And thank you so much for doing our podcast.
Absolutely.
I would also love to ask you, I love to promote small business. It means a lot to me, especially in this economy.
Yes.
Is there a small business you would love to toot right now?
So probably the best Chicago pizza place in Atlanta, Georgia right now is my mom's favorite pizzeria in Chicago growing up. And it's called Rosati's.
Oh.
And it's individually owned, but the chunks of Italian sausage on it are amazing. You don't have to search for it. It's right there, you know, and the cheese, how you pull it apart, you know, I mean, it's just awesome. And they have fantastic. So I don't know any of the individual franchise owners, but I went into the restaurant in Chicago and met the family members, you know, so I was little, but I mean, I remember it, you know, so anyone wants a good Chicago pizza, if you have a Rosati's in your area, try it out. I know there's one in Largo, Florida, because that's where my other house is, in St. Pete. And then there's two here, one close to the lake. So I go drive from my boat, go pick up a pizza 30 minutes away, and then 30 minutes home. It's perfect.
Awesome. Do you know why I love you even more now?
Why?
Because you said it was your mama's favorite place.
Yes.
You mentioned your mom.
Yeah.
I love that. That was the sweetest.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was one of her favorite
I love
plays.
that. Well,
but I got to tell you, this was one of the most amazing experiences of my life just because I took a chance.
yes.
And all the people that I met, it doesn't matter if it's the person at the premiere party who's parking cars. I spent time with them. You know, I just got to know so many fantastic people because of this process that, I'm going to be in contact with someone for the rest of my life now.
Right. Yes.
And that's the joy for me.
Where do you go from here? What do you want to do next?
I don't know. This has kind of given me a platform to really help other people.
Yes.
So I've had so many different things happen in my life, like loss, my late wife, and then my brother 6 months later, my Irish twin. And so how to deal with grief. So grief
is something that grabs you by the ankles.
Yeah.
It is. And there's no one way that's correct, right? So just doing kind of like live, maybe TikTok things on that, talking about how to apply for Social Security benefits because I testify as a vocational expert for them. So I have insight to a lot of different things where if I don't know something, I'll just tell one of the people I don't know and I'll look it up and I'll be writing you probably.
I hope you do these things.
Yeah, this is what the platform really gives me and then relationships, because I've counseled a lot of people on relationships and what's toxic and what's not, or how to recognize a narcissist. So there's so many things.
We know that one. We
know about the narcissist, right? Yeah, but I know we've spotted a few.
And they don't think they are. They just think everything they do is always right.
It's okay.
And, not everybody is always right.
I might have you guys on for that one.
We've talked about this. You and I are going to be longtime friends.
Yes.
I agree. Yes.
Yes.
Well, you meet so many wonderful people, and sometimes they're going through stuff. So the way they're reacting is not who they are, and it does not define them, right? So a lot of people would just walk away, and that's not me, right? So I think if more people kind of give someone a break once in a while, it can really pull people together. And I really hope people get that from me. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes. I get that from you. Definitely. Yeah. And I hope you start your own podcast. The world needs Earl the Pearl.
But I appreciate that. And that's something I'll look at, it's all about time. You only have so much time, right? So
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text you every day until you do it.
And you could do the podcast on everything you just said.
Yes.
Everything you just said.
As you know, it only takes about a week of staying on me, and then I give in.
You are right. Well, I appreciate you for doing this podcast.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on, and I wish nothing but magic for you. Yes. I hope you find your happy ending, whatever it is, and I hope you continue to change lives. Your happy ending's coming, and I know it.
Yeah.
And I hope you do your podcast.
Yeah. Well, you'll be a guest, I guarantee that.
Oh, awesome.
Well, thank you. We're going to sign off. Thank you, Earl the Pearl.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Bye.
Right, Earl the Pearl out.
Earl the Pearl out. Bye.
Bye-bye.